Spyfall, how to play. The object of the spy is to figure out the current location or to not be discovered. The object for everyone else is to figure out who the spy is. The player with the most points over the course of several rounds wins. Determine how many rounds you will play. 5 rounds is recommended for your first game. Setup. Each package of cards contains 7 identical locations and 1 spy card, which is on top. Pick someone to be the dealer, and that player shuffles the package together face down and selects one at random. Keeping the cards hidden from all players at all times, the dealer removes the top number of cards from the deck equal to the total number of players. He shuffles those cards and deals 1 face down to each player. Players look at their own card but do not show them to others. There are 2 possible types of cards you could receive: a location card and a spy card. The location and image are identical to all the other players possessing the location card in the current round, except for the bottom right roll, which is unique for each player. Players with location cards become the role on their card, and they must answer all questions truthfully with their role in mind. Contrarily, the player with the spy card can be as dishonest as they like. Once every player has looked at their card, they place them face down on the table. You are not allowed to look at your card throughout the game, so you must commit the location and roll to memory before putting the card down. Once the last card is placed on the table, start an 8-minute timer. The dealer always takes the first turn. On your turn, you ask one player 1 question. You must address the player you are asking by name, and you may not repeat your question or clarify it in any way. There are no follow-up questions. Typically, questions are about the location, but this isn't mandatory. For example, "John, how is the weather?" The recipient of the question answers the question any way they see fit, so long as they are remembering to answer based on their role from the location. Spies can make up and say whatever they want. To continue the example, "Doesn't bother me. I'm comfortably indoors." After the player answers the question, they then get to ask anyone else a question except the person who just asked them a question. This process continues until the time runs out. Once per round, each player may stop the clock 1 time and accuse another player of being the spy. There is no discussion or defense given. Each player, other than the accused, agrees or disagrees on the accusation. If all the players, except for the accused player, agree, then the round ends and the convicted player reveals their card. If they are the spy, then the non-spies win the round. If they are a non-spy, then the spies win the round. If all the players don't agree, resume the clock. The player who made the accusation may not accuse another player during the time portion of the round. While the clock is still running, so anytime not during an accusation, the spy may end the round and reveal his card. The spy is allowed to look at the middle page of the instruction book at all the possible locations and pick the one where he thinks everyone is. If the spy is correct, then the spy wins the round. If not, then the non-spies win the round. After 8 minutes pass, the round ends and the players openly discuss their suspicions within these requirements. Don't announce the location. Don't discuss the location. Don't ask for information contained on the location card. You are not allowed to try to get additional information from players about the location or who they are. You may only discuss suspicions. Next, an accusation phase commences. The dealer starts by accusing another player, and everyone votes on it. If it is unanimous agreement, remember the accused doesn't vote, then the convicted reveals their card. If they are the spy, then the non-spies win the round. Otherwise, the spy wins the round. If the vote isn't unanimous, then the player to the left accuses someone. If no one is convicted by the time everyone has had a turn as the accuser, then the spy wins. Each player gets a turn to accuse, even if they already used their 1 time stop accusation. The round is now over. Gather up everyone's cards and shuffle all the location cards face down, put the spy card on top, and return them to the bag. Set the bag aside so it can't be drawn again this game. Give points to players based on who won. If the spy was victorious and wasn't convicted after time ran out, the spy receives 2 points. If a non-spy player was convicted of being the spy, then the spy receives 4 points. If the spy stopped the clock and correctly guessed the location, then the spy receives 4 points. If the non-spies were victorious, then each non-spy receives 1 point. The player who initiated the successful conviction of the spy, whether it was during the game or at the end, receives an additional bonus point. The player who was the spy in the previous round is the dealer for the next. The player with the most points after the agreed upon number of rounds wins.